How are you today, class?
Fine, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, so as you know, the the evaluation of the second term is coming, and I have already explained you how the evaluation will be about. So, do you have any question related to what we talked last class about? Class, do you have any question?
No, teacher.
Okay, good. Okay, then let's start the class. So, do you know what passive voice is? Class, do you know what passive voice is?
Can you repeat, teacher, please?
Do you know what passive voice is or what for we use it? Passive voice. Do you know what it is? Do you know it, class?
No, teacher. Al menos yo no.
What about the others? What about the rest of the class? Do you know what passive voice is? Class, do you know? Okay, so for this class, we're going to learn what passive voice is and how it works. But first of all, I need to call out the attendance. So you already know what to do. If you have any problem with your microphone or it is not possible for you to answer via audio, you're going to just tell all your classmates to tell that you are in the class, okay? Yes?
Yes,
Okay,
teacher.
just give me a second, please. Okay, then let's start with this. Kevin, Erika,
Present, teacher.
thanks. Andy,
Present.
Sandra,
Present.
Liliana, is Liliana in here? Anais,
Present.
Daniela,
Present.
Yatsiri,
Present.
Marta,
Present, teacher.
Diana,
Present.
Leila,
Present.
Dulce, is Dulce in here? Alma, is Alma in here? Arturo,
Here,
Ruby,
Here.
Víctor,
here,
Genetzi,
Present.
Mónica,
Present, teacher.
Jessica,
Present.
Denise,
Present.
Axel, is Axel in here? Víctor, class, is Victor in here? Diana,
Present.
Iris,
Present, teacher.
thanks. Okay, thank you, class. Okay, as I was telling you, we're going to work with passive voice. And then I'm going to explain you what for we use passive voice, what is the structure of it, and what for we use it. Okay, class, do you see the screen then? Class, are you
Yes.
able to
Teacher.
see the screen? Okay. Yes, okay. Let's start. Passive voice in English. Before I start the explanation, do you know how to use passive voice in Spanish? Class, do you know? Do you know how to use passive voice in Spanish? Or does anyone can give me an example of passive voice in Spanish?
Tal vez yo, profe.
Okay, can you give me the example then?
Por ejemplo, aquí dice, bueno, el gato come el ratón, es de forma activa, y forma pasiva es el ratón es comido por el gato.
Okay. Well, that's a good idea, yes. But any other common example? One we always saw or commonly saw in or commonly see in a lot of places. So, well, according to the example you gave me, what is the purpose of the passive voice? So you already gave me the example that says el gato es comido por el ratón. So once you have that example, what is the purpose of passive voice? Class. What is the purpose of the passive voice, class?
Sirve para resaltar el sujeto que realiza la acción. Como por ejemplo, el ratón es el sujeto de la frase en la voz activa y el gato se convierte como en un completo de la frase en voz pasiva.
Okay. Well, did you Google it? Did you look for that on the internet? Okay, good. Well, in English it's going to be the exact same thing, okay? The passive voice is used in English to do the exact same thing. We're going to give more importance or to make an emphasis to the action and not in the performer of the action, okay? So the most important here in this kind of structures is the action, not the person who performs the action, okay? That's why you're going to say, el ratón es comido por el gato. Because the important thing is that what is the action, okay? So, in this case, as I told you in English, we're going to use it the same way, the exact same way as we did in Spanish. And for example, one of the other most common examples we have in Spanish is when you go to any store or yes, a store or food truck, for example, and people say se vende, okay? Se vende, I don't know. Give me an example with that. Se vende. I don't know, for example, when you go to the supermarket or to the market, the street market at home, You have like se vende miel, for example. So they could say the same idea of vendemos miel, which is like the active voice, but the important thing is what is sold. La cosa que importa es lo que se vende, ¿cierto? So that's the most common example we have of that in Spanish. And then, as I told you, in English we're going to have the exact same thing, and we're going to use it with all the tenses we have in English. For example, let's start analyzing this part. The simple present or the present simple, we have the example in here. Active. I do my homework. If we translate it into Spanish, is hago mi tarea. But in this case, when we use the passive voice, we're going to do something that it's different. In this case, the structure of the passive voice is the verb be plus a main verb in past participle, okay? So we need the subject, for example, in the active voice, we need subject, verb do, plus a complement. Homework in this case, I do my homework. When we talk about passive voice, the object of the sentence becomes the subject of the sentence when we use it in passive voice. That's why we're going to say my homework is done. And in some cases, the subject of the sentence in an active voice becomes an agent in the passive voice, and we cannot say, for example, let's take the first example that it's the simple present. We're going to say, I do my homework, and then it's going to say, my homework is done. We can say, by me, and then in that case, we're going to add the same subject, but as an agent in the sentence, okay? So remember, the only thing you need to do, for example, in passive voice for simple present, you need to do the verb be conjugated according to the sentence, or in this case, to the subject of the sentence, and the main verb should be in past participle, okay? Yes, class? Yes? Did you get the idea, class? Class, did you get the idea? Class, is it clear, or do you need some other examples? Or can we continue to the following part of the class? Is it clear? Class, is it all clear or not? I need you to answer. Say something, please. Class? Class?
Other example,
Other
teacher.
example?
Yes.
Okay, for example, if I say in English, obviously, I eat pizza. Okay, if I say in English, I eat pizza, what I'm going to do, for example, okay, I'm going to just skip this part, and I'm going to give you some other examples. Okay, so what we have in here, these examples we have in here, the first one, the sentence you haven't read, is the active voice, something we always use. I eat pizza every day. When we're going to change it into report, into passive voice, what we need to do is to just, first of all, identify the tense we are using in the first sentence, in the active sentence. Once we identify it, we're going to follow the rules, okay? In this case, as I told you, the object of the pizza in an active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice. Then we're going to use the verb be. Obviously, it's conjugated with pizza, which is a thing. That's why we're going to use is. And then we're going to use the main verb in past participle. In this case, we have an irregular verb. Eat, ate, eaten. Yes? So we're going to use the past participle of the verb, depending on if it is irregular or regular. In this case, eat is an irregular verb, that's why we have eaten. And then it's like, for example, pizza is eaten. And what I mentioned, we can take the subject in the active voice sentence and we can become it an agent. To become the subject of the first sentence into an agent in the second sentence, we are going to add by. Then we're going to ask me, because I don't answer by I, but in this case, we're going to use a pronoun, an object pronoun, and it's going to say, well, in this case, me. Pizza is eaten by me every day. La pizza es comida por mí todos los días. Okay? And then the other active sentence we have is people play soccer all around the world. Las personas juegan fútbol alrededor del mundo. So, what I need you to do when I am using the passive voice is to talk about the action. What is the action? Played. What is played? Soccer. In this case, I'm going to say that soccer is, again, because we are using simple present, we are going to use the verb be conjugated into the simple present. Soccer is played all around the world. ¿Ok? El fútbol se juega en todo el mundo. And then again, the important thing in here is the verb be conjugated in simple present, and then the main verb, which should be in past participle. In this case, remember, we have the regular verbs that are in both cases, simple past and past participle, remain the same. That's why we have played, and then we say soccer is played all around the world instead of saying people play soccer all around the world. Okay, so the important thing in here is to give more importance to the situation or the action than to the performance or the performer. Okay, is it clear, class? Class, is it all clear? Class, is it clear or not? Do you have any questions so far?
No, teacher.
Okay. So is it clear? Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So what I need you to do now as a practice is to write down 5 sentences in active voice using simple present, and then you're going to just exchange it into the passive voice structure, please. Okay? Is it clear, class? Once you finish, please tell me in order to check what you're doing. If you have any question, please, well, related to the structure, vocabulary, or spelling, you can ask me, okay? Is that clear, class? Is everything clear then? How's it going? How many sentences do you already have? Class? Finish?
Teacher,
Tell me.
¿es algo como una oración?
Hmm. No, I
Sí,
told you,
solo una.
you're going to write down 5 sentences, and then you just
Ah,
need to change those 5 sentences into passive voice. Finish? Class? Who has finished? Who has finished, class? Finish? Class, remember, the key of this structure is the verb be plus the main verb. As we are using simple present, we're going to use the verb be conjugated into simple present, and then the main verb should go in the past participle form of it. Okay? So remember, that's the key, or that's the main idea of this.
Teacher,
Tell me.
dijo un ejemplo de un activo y un pasivo.
Yes, well, in this case, there should be 5 sentences. How many do you have?
Es que bueno, yo ya hice 2.
Okay, at least complete 3. At least complete 3 of them, and then we're going to check. Class, the ones who have 3 of the sentences, I asked you for 5, but in this case, if you have 3 of them, you can just tell me your ideas. Okay, we're going to analyze them, and we're going to check if you use the passive voice in an appropriate way. So is there anyone who has the 3 sentences? Is there anyone who has the 3 sentences? Class? Finish, class?
Pues creo que
there...
puede ser con cualquier tiempo, ¿verdad?
Well, in this case, according to the tenses we are going to use, the structure is going to change, or is going to have some changes. But if you have it, we can check it, and we can check if you just use the correct tense and the correct structure for each tense. In this case, we were only practicing with simple present, but okay, let me check what you have. Do you have the 3 of them? Do you already have the three of them? Have you finished? Finished, class? Okay, let's start checking what you already have.
Profe, ¿le puedo decir las mías a ver si estoy bien?
Okay.
The house is habited every day. The house is habited by me every day.
In this case, the house is habitated. Actually, you already have, well, your first idea when you say the house is habitated is already in passive voice. So the only thing you did in the second example is to add the agent. Do you have another one?
Yo, pero no sé si estoy bien.
Okay, don't worry, we're here to learn.
I do my homework every day. My homework is done every day. Y lo hice en 3 tiempos. I was doing exercise. My exercise was being done. I did swimming with my cousin. The swimming was done with my cousin.
Okay. In this case, your second sentence. Okay, I suppose you take into account the examples you have on the screen, right?
Yes.
Did you? Okay, in this case, when we have the verb did, is because it means hacer. So when we have did, it's like hice. But as you are using swim, the thing you need to do is to use the verb the verb in past, that it's swam, swim, swam, swim. Okay, so the did is not correct to use it in that way. Sometimes we use did or the verb do in order to make an emphasis to the following verb. But in this case, yes, the thing, well, the did is not or shouldn't be in the sentence, and the main verb should be the one that it's in past.
Ok.
Teacher,
Ya,
¿puedo
creo
decir
que ya lo
mi
entendí.
oración?
Okay, was something there that I didn't listen?
Yo puedo decir mi oración.
Okay.
I wear a red dress every
Mhm.
Sunday.
Mhm.
The red dress is worn by me every Sunday.
Excellent, good.
La otra que hice es Rihanna wrote a song y sería The
Mhm.
song has been written by Rihanna.
You said Rihanna wrote a song,
Wrote,
okay?
wrote a song
Wrote,
y
wrote,
ajá,
okay.
ajá. Bueno, escribe o escribió una canción y sería The song has been written by Rihanna.
Um, in this case, you are mistaken and you're mixing the tenses. Remember, if we use simple past, that is the first sentence you have, the active sentence. Rihanna wrote a song. The correct idea of this is to say the song was written. The song was written.
Sí,
Yes.
teacher.
Because remember, when we use the simple present, for example, or the present simple, we use the verb be in simple present, that in this case is or are, depending on the subject. So when we use the simple past, the only thing we need to do is to exchange the verb be into past. Okay. So if my sentence is Rihanna wrote a song, the sentence should be the song was written by Rihanna. Maybe you can add that part as an agent. The song was written by Rihanna. Okay, do you have any other example?
Yo, teacher, pero no sé si estoy bien. A ver, te digo.
Okay.
Carla painted the house last weekend. The house was painted last weekend.
The house was painted last weekend. Good.
Okay. My dog chased the squirrel, ardilla.
My dog, what?
Como cazar o atrapar. Chase.
Oh, chased, chased,
Chased.
chased.
Chased. My dog
Yes,
chased.
but chase is like kind of acechar,
Ah,
perseguir.
my
Cazar
dog.
should be like haunted.
My dog chased the squirrel.
Chased.
Chased.
In this case, it's chased. It is pronounced as chased.
Chased. Perdón. Chased.
Don't
And
worry.
my dog chased the squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
The squirrel was chased by my dog.
By my dog. By.
By my dog.
Mm-hmm.
Cashier counted the money. The money was counted with the cashier. By the cashier.
The cashier counted the money,
Uh-huh.
you said?
The
And the
money
money was counted by the cashier.
by cashier. Uh-huh.
Excellent. Good. Yes. Any other example, class? Class, do you have any other example? class? Any other example? Class, do you have it or not? Okay, the time is almost over. So I'm going to explain what is going to be your homework about. In this case, on Friday, we're going to have a test related to verbs. Then you should know, obviously, the base form of the base form of the verb, the simple past form, and the past participle form of the verb. So if you don't know the verbs like correctly, I suggest you to practice them. And what I need you to do as a homework, but in this case, that homework is going to be checked on Friday, just during the class. In your notebook, you're going to write down or you're going to rewrite or complete the 5 sentences you should have in here, okay? So you're going to write again 5 sentences using the simple present in passive voice, okay? Only the simple present. 5 sentences. Then we're going to check them next class, okay? So
Yes,
class,
teacher.
do you have any question related to it? So you have 2 homeworks. The first one is to study the verbs, regular and irregular, and then you have to also write down the 5 sentences, okay? The sentences should be like in active and passive voice, okay?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Have an excellent day. See you on Friday. Have an excellent week. If you have any question, you know you can send me a message in the WhatsApp group, and then I'll solve your questions, okay?
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have an excellent day.